Assembly of the CoCo SDC kit from boysandtech.com. Your SDC kit has arrived. Now what? First, you'll need a tidy workspace, your trusty soldering iron, and some good rosin core solder. It's a good idea to have some form of tip cleaner. In a pinch, you can make do with a damp paper towel. You'll also need a flush cutter or small diagonal cutters. When you're ready, step 1 is to verify the contents of your kit. Take a moment to check each package carefully and familiarize yourself with the components. The kit is separated into smaller packages for various stages of the process. Package 1 contains the PC board. The black solder mask and gold plating are part of Boys and Tech's branding. Package 2 contains the 3 PLC chips. We'll set these aside until later. Package 3 contains all of the resistors and capacitors, including a small resistor array. Package 4 contains the Atmega 328 microcontroller, a crystal oscillator, and the SDC card reader module. Package 5 contains all of the chip sockets. And finally, Package 6 contains the push-button switch, LED, 3-pin header, and a few rubber bands for holding the sockets in place while soldering. Looks like we're all set. When assembling a kit like this, the general rule of thumb is to start with the shortest components first, which will be our individual resistors. Bend the leads at a sharp 90-degree angle, and they'll drop right in. Unlike this example where the lead had to be pulled in, this is not really necessary, but it makes it look more professional. Nobody likes crooked components. Once soldered, we'll trim the excess leads with our flush cutters. Now we'll install the electrolytic capacitor. The longer lead should go to the positive side. Next is the resistor array. This stripe indicates pin 1. If you install this component backwards, your SDC will not work. I'll tack one pin first and then align the component. It's leaning a bit, so we'll straighten it up before soldering the rest of those pins. That's much better. Next, install the decoupling capacitors. Just drop them in place and bend the legs out about 30 to 45 degrees so they can't fall out. A bit more soldering and lead trimming and we can move on to package 4. Now let's install the oscillator. Just tack one pin, then apply pressure and reflow to properly seat it. Then solder the rest and trim the leads. The rest of package 4 can be set aside for now. Now we're ready for package 5, the IC sockets. We'll start with the Atmega 328 dip socket, which there are actually 2 included with the kit. You can install your preference of a machine pin or dual wipe socket. Pay attention to the notch on the silk screen and line the socket up accordingly. Here we'll use a rubber band to hold the socket in place while we tack the corners down. Now remove the rubber bands and solder the rest of the pins. Next, we install the PLC-C sockets. The process is basically the same, just with a lot more pins. Don't be intimidated. If you can solder a dual row pin header, you can solder these sockets. As you can see, the rubber bands are handy but not required. Just get 2 pins tacked and use your fingers to apply pressure while reflowing those 2 pins. Now we just have a little over 100 more pins to solder. Wow, that's a lot of soldering. You should be getting pretty good at it by now. Finally, we get to package 6, and we install the push button switch and 3-pin header, again carefully aligning it before soldering all of the pins. Now it's time for the SD card reader module. Don't forget to peel off the backing tape, but be careful before affixing it to the board. Before sticking it down, be sure to carefully align the edges of the module with the silkscreen so it's perfectly square. Now let's install the dip switch assembly. Be sure the on position is away from the edge of the board as shown here. If you get this backwards, it's not the end of the world, but your instructions for the switch settings will be backwards. Finally, the activity LED. And that's it. Now we just install these chips. The Atmega 328 will need the pins straightened a bit to get them into the socket. If you don't have one of these pin straighteners, you can gently press each side of the chip down on the table until the rows of pins are about parallel with each other. If the legs hang up on the outer edge of the socket, just use a fingernail or plastic spudger to carefully work the pins into the socket. Next, we install the PLCC chips. The two larger chips must not be mixed up. Check your part numbers carefully and note the orientation of the arrow inside the socket indicating pin 1. The chips have a beveled edge and a dimple indicating pin 1. Just carefully line the chips up and gently press them into their sockets all the way down. And with that, you are finished. Congratulations and welcome to the CoCo SDC Owners Club. Now with that done, we need to test it, and for that, we need a FAT32 formatted SD card. Even a 2 gig card is more than enough, but larger ones can also be used. Once you have your SD card ready, head on over to colorcomputerarchive.com. Hover over Archive, then click Disk. Then CoCo SDC. Click Image and download the zip file. Extract the zip file to your SD card. Remember that the SD card goes into the SDC label side down, and always power off the CoCo when inserting or removing cartridges. And now we play.